What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to JohnnyKpicks. And in this video, I'll be going over my full card picks and predictions along with the bets that I'm looking at so far for UFC 312 Duplessis versus Strickland 2. First things first, please hit that like button for me before we start. Subscribe if you are new or if you just haven't, and turn on those notifications so you know when I put out my videos, when we go live on Wednesdays, if I do any watch-alongs, anything like that. Leave some comments below how well you did last card at UFC Saudi Arabia and what fight you're looking forward to on this fight card. The prelims don't look great on paper. There's a lot of UFC debuts, but you know what? It might be good. It might be good. But the main and the co-main, I think are going to be awesome, but we'll get to that shortly. And check out my Patreon, patreon.com/JohnnyKpicks. I put all my UFC early content on there, my bets, UFC betting cheat sheets, time prop cheat sheets. I do UFC survivor pool that's currently going on right now. So if you want to get into the next one, which might happen in the next 3 or 4 events, I'm thinking, who knows, you can join up. You can become a member for $5.99 a month, or you can become a free member. That's cool too. Any support's awesome. And I also do NBA bets, footy bets, football, Super Bowl's coming up. I'm going to have a ton of bets, so get ready for that. I've been putting out more NBA bets on the daily, just like 2 or 3 here and there. But yeah, check it out. Like I said, you could join for free as well. All right. So last card, like I said, UFC Saudi Arabia, fun card. I like those early cards. They're always fun. But my picks were not great. I went 6-5, unfortunately. I did think Jamal Pogues won, so I think I should have got one more right, but it is what it is. But my bets were a little bit better. I won 1.29 units, so I was looking good until the last fight. I had 2 bets left. I needed the over 2.5, and I also needed Izzy to win in rounds 4 or 5 or by decision. So I thought one of those was going to hit at least, and then none of them hit. So I probably would have had a better night if one of those hit, but still a winning night. I'll take it. Not going to complain too much, but I did start out hot, and then once that main card hit, it went downhill a little bit quicker than I wanted it to. So, but other than that, like I said, fun card, but we're looking to get a little bit better than 6-5. That's pretty bad. So definitely don't want to do that again. So let's jump right into these fights. There are 13 of them. There were a few cancellations. Cody Haddon was supposed to fight. He's out. Usman supposedly was supposed to fight against Jack Della, but that's coming up later on. And then some of these other ones there. But let's go to the first fight, though. We got, there's going to be a lot of bad pronunciation. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. And this is going to be probably the worst one of the card for me. It's Hyun Sung Park versus Nyam Jargal. Tumendemberel. I'm just going to call him Nyam or Nyam. We'll just say that. So I'm just going to go with that. Sorry for that, but it's Tumendemberel. There we go. That's the best I can do. But let's see. We got Park, solid grappler, good takedowns. Striking is progressing a little bit. It didn't really used to be all that great early on in his earlier fights, but I have seen some improvements as his fights go on. If you want to say, he does have some power in his hands, even though I know, my so-called brother in the UFC, Shannon Ross, he knocked him out. If you don't know that, supposedly everyone thinks I look like Shannon Ross. I don't know, but it is what it is. But yeah, good fight from there. And then we got Nyam. I'm going to say that. Powerful striker himself. He's not very technical with that. He likes to get in the brawls, like looping, swinging shots, going for the kill shot. Always likes to push forward. He's a little aggressive there. But his striking defense isn't all that great. He can get cracked as well. His takedown defense isn't that great either. Not to say that he's a fish on the mat, but he does get taken down and he can be controlled if that's the case. He did lose against Carlos Hernandez by split. I think that was a pretty close fight. No robbery or anything like that. But yeah, this is a tough one. It just depends on what you think Park's going to do. I think he is the guy to dictate where this fight goes. Is he going to keep it on the feet, which I don't think he should for very long. I think he should be going for takedowns. Or is he going to take this fight to the mat, where I think he's going to have a big advantage? I'm going to go with Park. The line's about -280. I think that's a little wide personally, but I'm probably not going to bet this fight. If I do bet this fight, I would maybe look at the overs just to see, because I do think there's going to be some takedowns and control time from Park, and I think it can go over the 2.5 or whatever it's going to be set at. But give me Park to win by decision. But yeah, like I said, it just depends on what you think is going to happen if Park's going to be able to get those takedowns. If you don't think he's going to, you don't trust in his wrestling, then Niam's going to be a good underdog for you, plus 225. But I do think he gets those takedowns. I think he does enough to win at least a 29-28 decision. Next one we got is going to be Cody Steele versus Rongzhu. And Cody Steele's making his UFC debut. He looked good on the Dana White Contender Series fight about a few months ago. But he's a very good grappler. He's got good wrestling too, good striking. I mean, his striking is all right. It's improving a little bit, but he's more so a wrestler, grappler guy. He's very tough. He's durable. He's got good cardio. He's a work in progress, but I do like the skills that he has, and we'll see what happens with him. We'll see what happens in like 3 or 4 fights, but I do think he's pretty good. He's well-rounded. Rongzhu, we've seen him a few times in the UFC. He's a good striker. He's got good power. He likes to push forward, push a good pace. He's very hittable on the feet, though. He can wrestle and grapple, but he's more so a striker. He did lose to Chris Padilla by KO doctor stoppage. That's not the greatest of looks, and then he came back to the road to the UFC, but earlier on he was in the UFC when he was really young. He's 24 years old, which is crazy. But yeah, this is another close. It could end up being close. And again, I'm going to say the same thing. It just depends on what you think Cody's going to be able to do. Do you think he's going to get that wrestling going? If you do think he's going to get that wrestling going, he's going to win this fight. If you don't think he's going to, then you would probably want to pick Rongzhu, and you probably want to bet him at plus 195. So again, I'm going to go with Cody Steele getting those takedowns because I don't trust Rongzhu's takedown defense all that much. And not to say that he's a fish on the mat. I know this is like the same breakdown almost, but Cody Steele has way better top control, good wrestling, and good cardio to do it. Not to say that he has to do a wrestle-heavy game plan like Marab or something like that, but Cody does have the skills, and I think he's just a little bit more well-rounded. He's not more dangerous, but I think he's more well-rounded, and I think he'll stay safe. So give me Cody Steele to win. I'm going to say by decision again, maybe late finish, but Rongzhu's pretty tough, and the doctor had to stop that. He just got cracked. And that I think that eye swole up really quick, and they had to stop it. So he could have still fought, but it was disgusting. Let's be honest. So give me Cody Steele to win by decision again. This will be a fun fight too. Next one is gonna be Quillen Salkilld, whatever you want to say, versus Jubli. So we got Quillen. Let's see, making his UFC debut. There's a whole bunch of people making their UFC debut this card. He's got good striking. He's got very good kicks, solid wrestling, and takedowns. He can be a little too aggressive sometimes. It does get he can be open to counters, and sometimes he gets reversed if he's a little too aggressive when he's on the mat. But overall, pretty good guy, durable, good cardio. Jubli, we've seen him a couple times. He's well-rounded, okay striking and grappling. Takedown defense also okay. He doesn't really do anything like great. It's more so everything is just okay. Cardio is pretty good. But his last fight was embarrassing. Let's put it that way. He looked like he didn't want to be in there against Mike Breeden. I don't know if he got scared, but if you put pressure on Jubli, you see what can happen. And give me Quillen to win this fight. Because of that, I think he doesn't care. He's going to be pushing forward. He's going to be shooting takedowns. He's going to be striking, good leg kicks. He can do whatever he wants. So very confident in this one, even though he is making his UFC debut. But, Jubli didn't really fight the greatest of guys, too. He beat Jekka. Okay, cool. And he lost to Breeden. That's not really the greatest look either. I mean, either way. So give me Quillen to win. I'm going to say by maybe second or third round KO. I think he does get a finish of some sorts, but I'm going to say probably KO. Let's see. I don't remember if he has any submissions. Yeah, I mean, he's just a well-rounded guy, but I'll say KO. Why not? Next one, we got Kevin Jousset versus Jonathan Micallef. And let me get He's out of here. We got Jousset. He's a well-rounded guy, more so a striker, kickboxing style. He can wrestle if need be, but he's going to probably want to keep it on the feet this time. He can be a little hittable. He's a little slow at times with his strikes, but he does have a decent power in his hands. Pretty good cardio, very durable. So his striking defense is just a little, he doesn't really move his head too much, but he does have very, very good takedown defense. So that's going to play a pretty good part or a big part in this fight because Jonathan, he's making his UFC debut. What do you know? His striking is not amazing. But he's a very good wrestler, grappler, good cardio. He's got good submissions. He's got. I mean, he's durable too himself, but he definitely wants to get this fight to the mat, and that's the problem with it in this fight. I think Jousset's going to be able to stuff those takedowns, and Jonathan's striking is not that good compared to Jousset's. I think Jousset's striking is going to be leaps and bounds better. Not to say Jousset's an amazing striker, but it's better, and you're going to see it. And I don't think Jonathan's going to be able to get those takedowns early, and the longer the fight goes, I think he's going to gas out a little bit. Not to say that he death gases or anything, but he's going to slow down with those takedowns. They're going to get sloppier, and Jousset's going to be able to piece him up. So give me Jousset to win by decision. I just don't think Jonathan's going to be able to get his takedowns going. If he can, maybe he wins still, but I still like Jousset in this fight. I think that, the line's pretty appropriate, but yeah, this is just a matchup I think Jousset wins at a high clip. Let's be honest. Next one, both these guys are making their UFC debut. We got Alexandre Topuria versus Colby Thicknesse, but I like to call him the Thickness, not the Slickness. Yeah, Topuria making his UFC debut. He's a very good wrestler, grappler guy. He does have pretty good striking, not as good as his brother Ilya, though. He does like to push a higher pace, so he's going to be pushing forward. He's got good cardio. He's durable, too, all that good stuff. And then he got Thicknesse making his UFC debut. This is a short notice fight for him. It's like maybe a week or two, at most 2 weeks, but I think it's like a week. But he's a good wrestler, grappler himself. He's striking. I'm sorry, I read the wrong thing. He's well-rounded. He is more so a grappler that likes to use his striking to set up takedowns. He does have okay power in his hands if he does land on the feet. His striking defense isn't the greatest. But yeah, both these guys are making their UFC debut. It's tough to back Topuria here. I on minus 400, but I do think he is the better, well-rounded guy. I think the striking is going to be better, and I think if Colby tries to go for takedowns and it gets to the mat, I think Topuria is going to be safe. He is a very good wrestler, grappler first, but I think the striking is going to be better on the Topuria side. So give me Topuria to win. I'll say by decision. Both these guys, like I said, pretty durable, even on short notice. I think Colby will be okay with his cardio, but yeah, I just think Topuria at this stage in both careers, I think he's just going to be a little bit better. Next one, Wang versus Bruna, Brazil. And Wang is a very good kickboxer. She's got power in her hands. She's got good kicks. Her takedown defense is okay. Her ground game does need work. As we saw in her last fight, she did get cracked by Gabriella. It was more like a club and sub, if you want to say. And but if this fight does get to the mat, she's going to have a little bit of trouble, but that's a given with kickboxers that come to the UFC. It's going to take them some time to get some grappling and, takedown defense going. But we got Bruna Brazil. She's a very good striker herself. She does have okay power. She's got very good kicks. Her takedown defense, is okay too, but she doesn't really have to worry about it in this fight. She has shown some better grappling against Molly McCann because she went to Fighting Nerds right before that. And I think they're teaching her how to be a more well-rounded fighter in general, which I do like that. Yeah. Man, I am so tempted to throw a little bit of money on Bruna Brazil just because if Bruna comes in there with a grappling game plan and shoots those takedowns, I think she has a very good chance to win this fight. Now, if this fight's on the feet, I do favor Wang a little bit more, even though both of them are primarily kick or strikers first and foremost. But if Brazil goes in there, shoots some good takedowns, and slows this fight down, doesn't make it a kickboxing fight, it's gonna be close. So gonna go with Wang still. I'm gonna say by decision though. I don't think this fight's gonna be a knockout for her or anything. But I wouldn't mind looking at the Brazil plus 3.5 spread either. I think she wins one round, maybe a later round. Maybe one round she gets a takedown and she holds her down for the whole round and she wins that way. And that's all you need with the plus 3.5 spread. So I'm gonna look at that when it comes out. I don't know what it'll be, plus money for sure. But man, plus 340. It's tempting. But give me Wang to win. I'm gonna say by decision. Next one, Tom Nolan versus Borshchev, Slabaclaws, and Tom Nolan, solid striker, very good power in his hands. Sometimes he can get himself into brawls from time to time. Sometimes he wins. Most of the time he wins. Sometimes he loses. The one time he lost was against Mota. Let's see. He does have a pretty good chin. He's pretty good cardio as well. His takedown defense isn't the greatest, but luckily he doesn't have to really worry about that. He's going to be tall for the division. He's going to have like a 4-inch reach advantage, 4-inch height advantage. So that's something to think about in this fight too. And then you got Borshchev, very good kickboxer. He does have good shots to the body. He works the body well. His takedown defense isn't great at all, but he does have a very good get-up game, pretty good submission defense as well. He always tries to scramble back up. He's very hittable though. He can, and sometimes he just gets dropped out of nowhere. And that's what worries me about this fight, because Tom Nolan can crack. And maybe Slabaclaws is looking good early, but it just takes one to drop Borshchev. And Borshchev's been dropped a pretty decent amount of times in his fight. I mean, he got dropped by Chase Hooper. I mean, yes, Chase Hooper's looking good, but Chase Hooper's not known for striking. Let's put it that way. I think he got dropped against Sadikov as well. Like, he gets dropped a pretty decent amount of times. So I'm going to go with Tom Nolan as a dog here. I think he's more dangerous. I'm not saying he's the more technical striker, but I think he's going to give some problems to Slabaclaws with that reach and height. And yeah, if this fight does get to the mat, maybe Tom Nolan has a little bit of an edge, but I don't know. I think this fight will probably mainly play out in the feet, but we'll see. But I'm going to go with Tom Nolan to win. I'm going to say by KO. I'm going to say he gets it done. Maybe second round, but yeah, give me Tom Nolan. I like him as a dog price. If he was the favorite, I'd probably lean Slabaclaws, but not to say that my pick is based on the odds. I just think Tom Nolan's more dangerous, and I do think he's going to be able to touch Slabaclaws at one point. Next one, Jack Jenkins versus Gabriel Santos. And this is going to be a very good fight. Jenkins is a well-rounded guy. He's got good wrestling, good takedowns. He's got very good leg kicks. They're strong and powerful. He does like to push forward with good pressure. He's durable. He's got good cardio. His striking, it's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's amazing. But like I said, he's well-rounded, though. Santos, though, also well-rounded guy. He's a very aggressive striker. He does have good power in his hands. He can be a little hittable at times, which is a little worrisome though, but he does have good takedowns. He does have good wrestling, good grappling. So that's something to think about here too. So both these guys are well-rounded, and both these guys can do, both like wrestling, grappling, striking good. I would favor Santos's striking a little bit more, the grappling a little bit more. Maybe Jenkins has better takedowns, but I'm going to slightly go with Santos. I think this is going to be a very close fight. Maybe Jenkins plus 3.5 spread is a good bet as well. Because I do think Jenkins can win one round. I'm trying to look here. I mean, he's been subbed twice in his career. Now, Santos, like I said, he does have good grappling, good submissions as well. In the UFC, we mainly see him strike. I thought he beat Lerone Murphy. He did lose to David Onama, though, on the feet. So maybe he does work in some wrestling and grappling and stuff like that. So I think this fight goes to decision, though. Both these guys are pretty durable, like I said. And I just think Santos just slightly edges him out. But Jenkins is a good underdog pick. This is a good fight. I think this is going to be very close. Like I said, Jenkins plus 3.5 spread might be a good bet. So look at that when it comes out. but give me Santos to win by a very close, fun decision. And we got the main card starting. It's going to be Jack Jenkins versus Francisco Prado. Also, this is going to be a fun fight, but let me get some coffee real quick. Okay, Jack Jenkins, well-rounded guy. He does have pretty good wrestling and grappling that he doesn't really use all that often. He's been using it a little bit more as of late, though. I'm trying to think of the fight. Selmasburger. What was the fight that he did? I think it was Darius Flowers, but that was Darius Flowers. He just dominated him wrestling and grappling, but he's well-rounded, like I said. Pretty good striking, good boxing. He's durable, pretty good cardio. Sometimes his game plans aren't the greatest. If you want to say fight IQ might not be all the greatest, but he's not like a Johnny Walker or someone with bad fight IQ like that. But Prado, though, fun fighter. He's got good power, powerful striker. He does have solid grappling, but he wants to keep it on the feet. He's very durable. He can slow down a little bit as the fight goes on. He does like to get into brawls. As you saw in the last fight with him and Zellhuber, it was insane. I'm shocked that he took all of those punches from Zellhuber, but he did. He's a beast. And this could be a close fight, honestly. I think Jake Matthews is a little bit more well-rounded, but if Prado can make this a dirty fight, I think he wins this one. I think he can crack him. We've seen Jake Matthews get knocked down by Selmsberger a couple times. But I'm still going to go with Jake Matthews because I do think he can get the wrestling going. But I'm not going to bet Jake Matthews. I can't, because whenever I bet him, he loses. And I can't trust what he's going to do in there because I don't know his game plans. Like, he doesn't stick to a specific game plan. It's always a coin flip what he's going to do. And I do think on paper, he's the better fighter. So give me Matthews to win. I'm going to say by decision because Prado is tough as shit. And I think if Prado does win, he wins by KO. And yeah. I mean, Prado's 2 losses were by decision. So there you go. Give me Matthews to win by decision, but maybe look at Prado plus 3.5 spread. Do you think he can win one round? I think he might be able to win one round. We'll see. There's a lot of bets like that on this card that I might look at. Instead of betting my pick, I might bet my opposite, but plus 3.5 spread, because I do think a lot of these fights are very close. Next one, though, we got Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo Bellato. And Jimmy Crute, it's been a while. 1.5 years. He kind of stopped. He went away or he stopped fighting for a little bit because he wanted to get his head clear, if you want to say. But he's a well-rounded guy. He does have good wrestling, good takedowns. His striking is okay. He can get cracked on the feet. Striking defense is not there at all. He doesn't move his head. He can take some pretty good punches early on, but eventually it won't be able to last, and that's what worries me about him in this fight. But Bellato, he's a well-rounded guy himself too. He does have good grappling and submissions. He has power in his hands. He does slow down though as the fight goes on, which does worry me a bit. I think Crute might have a little bit better cardio, but I don't know about the durability. I don't know about the fight IQ. I don't know about his head movement. So this fight is very red flag heavy. I'm leaning Bellato. I think he gets a knockout early, like first or early second round. I don't think Crute's going to be able to. He just doesn't move his head. That's my problem. And Bellato can hit a non-moving person. If you want to say, not to say Bellato's amazing, but I don't know. Crute, after see what happens. I'll give him a fight off to see here. I'm not gonna pick him, so I'm gonna look and see how he fights, and I'll go from there for his next fight. But until then, give me Bellato to win by KO, and I'll say second round KO early. And then we got Tollison Teixeira versus Justin Tafa. And Teixeira is making his UFC debut. He's a very dangerous striker. He's very tall. He's like 6'7", 83 inch reach. He's going to have a huge height and reach advantage here. But he can wrestle. He really hasn't fought the greatest competition. This is a pretty big step up in competition, if you want to say, for him. Justin Tafa's not terrible for a heavyweight. Probably the best fighter he's fought leaps and bounds. But Justin Tafa, though, he's a very powerful striker. He's got very strong leg kicks. He's super durable. He doesn't mind taking a punch to give a punch. Doesn't mind getting into brawls. He likes to stay in the pocket and land bombs. But the one thing that does worry me here a little bit for Tafa is the height and reach. If Teixeira is able to stay at distance, I think he'll be okay. But I just think at some point, Tafa is going to be able to land a bomb and knock him out. Tafa has fought tall guys before. Austin Lane is one of them. He knocked him out. He knocks out guys. But Teixeira is not going to be the Carl Williams that the fighter needs to do to take down Tafa and basically nullify his power. I don't think it's going to happen. So I'm going to go with the dog. I'm going to go with Justin Tafa here. I think he welcomes Teixeira, but with a knockout, maybe in the second round. But maybe Teixeira starts looking good too early. But I don't know. I just think Tafa's going to land that knockout at some point. So I'm going to go with him to win. That's about it. I'm not going to bet it, though. Co-main event. Weili Zhang versus Tatiana Suarez. So we all know who Weili is. Super well-rounded, dangerous striking, good power in her hands. She's developed some very good wrestling and grappling, good ground and pound, good control on top. Sometimes I think her one little weakness maybe is like her cardio in the later rounds, like rounds 4 and 5. She does slow down a little bit. She might get a little sloppy with her takedowns, but overall, like, she's very good everywhere. She's sound. Very technical on the feet. She does everything right. But like I said, as the fight goes on, she can get a little sloppier. But she's very durable, all that good stuff. Tatiana, though, very good wrestler, very good grappler, good submissions with good takedowns. She got pretty good cardio. Once she takes you down and she's on top, you're probably not getting back up. But striking that's where the key here is. Her striking is not that great, but she definitely wants to get this fight to the mat. She doesn't try to strike for too long. She knows what she's good at. She's going to go for those takedowns and grappling. So, and I believe this is her first 5-round fight. And that does worry me a little bit too. So if this fight does extend into the later rounds, we'll see what happens. But the line has been moving towards Tatiana. And honestly, I don't know why. It's kind of shocking to me that it is pick'em now. I think Weili opened up like around minus 200 or so. I saw her at minus 170 like a week ago. And then all of a sudden, now she's like minus 110, minus 120. I don't know. I think Weili is the better fighter right now. I think she's more well-rounded. She's going to definitely have the better striking. So on the feet, she's going to be winning for sure. Now, if this fight does get to the mat, that's where it's going to be a little dicey. I do think Tatiana is going to be able to get those takedowns maybe early, but Weili can maybe get some takedowns too. You never know. She can shoot for some takedowns and, work her wrestling on top and get some good win the minutes that way early and maybe wear out Tatiana. Because I don't know what Tatiana's going to look like in rounds 4 and 5. I've seen Weili, but I don't know about Tatiana. So give me Weili to win. I'm going to say by decision. Wouldn't shock me if it's a late finish, but I'm going to say decision. I don't think she's going to be able to get Tatiana out of there because it'd have to be like a knockout. But I don't know. I think if Tatiana's not doing well on the feet and she's getting pieced up, I think she'll shoot takedowns and she'll be okay with being on her back. And I don't think Weili's going to be able to submit her or maybe get her out of there ground and pound. So unless she just completely death gasses, which I don't think will happen either. But Weili by decision is my play or pick. And so I'm not really sure why. I mean, is Weili hurt? Does anybody know? I don't know. But minus 110 for Weili, the champion, who's, I think, the better fighter overall. We'll see. All right. Next fight. Main event, we got Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland, the rematch. And I'll be honest, I am one of those people in the camp that I thought Sean Strickland won. Very close fight, though. Very close fight. No robbery. I just thought Sean Strickland won, edged him out, landed better shots. Landed more significant strikes. I just thought he won 3 out of 4 or 5 rounds. So don't kill me. But we got Plessis, well-rounded fighter, good power on the feet, can be a little sloppy, not very technical, as we all know. He can mix in the wrestling and grappling. He's very strong. He's very durable. He can be a little hittable on the feet, though, as we've seen in our last fight. His cardio is better since his little nose procedure, so that's good for him there. So that was kind of his little bugaboo early on. But yeah, he just finds ways to win. That's his MO. If it goes to decision, he just finds a way. But Strickland, he's a push or come forward first striker, throws tons of volume. He parries a lot with his hands. He doesn't really throw a lot of leg kicks. He's mainly boxing. He does want to try to gas you out. He does have good takedown defense. He's not dangerous at all, though. He likes to, stick and jab you to death, if you want to say. But his best weapon is his pressure, and he does have very good cardio too. He can grapple too. He's not just a striker. He just prefers to only box. So, again, I think this fight plays out very, very close. I picked Sean Strickland last time. I'm struggling to pick him again or pick a fighter here. But I'm going to go with Dricus du Plessis. I think he gets it done. Or the judges say he gets it done. Let's put it that way. No, the reason why I am picking Dricus here, I do think he mixes in the wrestling and grappling, and I think he wins. That's how he wins. If he doesn't, then I think Sean Strickland wins by far, 100%. It's just the problem is I just think Dricus's wrestling and grappling is gonna play a little bit of a part in this fight. It's gonna be close. It's gonna go to decision. It's gonna be 48-47 or a split, and I do think Dricus wins. But another bet that you can do is Sean Strickland plus 3.5, or I'm sorry, plus 5.5 since it's a 5-round fight. I think that's a very good bet because I don't think Dricus is gonna be able to 49-46 or 50-45 Strickland. I'd be shocked. And like I just said, I think this fight could go to split. And if it goes to split, that bet's hitting. So give me Dricus du Plessis to win by decision, though. But it wouldn't shock me if Strickland shocks the world again and hits that plus 5.5 or a money line. Because plus 170 for him is not bad at all. So that's where I stand on that. But all right, that's the 13 fights for this weekend's UFC card. Thank you everybody for watching, and on your way out, please hit that like button for me. Wednesday night will be Defend Your Units again. I'm going to have a special guest, and his name is Free UFC Bet. I can't remember which way order it goes, but he's a cool dude if you don't know him, so definitely come and hang out with us, and then we'll tell you who we like and give you our live show bets as well. We did hit our live show bet last week, me and 138 MMA Tyler. Easy money parlay hits, so definitely check that out, and at least for that bet, because that bet always hits, I'll tell you that. So again, thank you everybody for watching. Good luck with your picks, good luck with your bets, and until next time, happy fight night.